How many times have you thought or said to yourself, my metabolism is broken? This is something that I've heard time and time again, and here's the deal. Your metabolism is not broken. However, there may be several things that you're doing that is not helping your metabolism, and I'm going to share them with you today. I'm also going to share with you several things that will help you to support your metabolism, plus your overall health and performance. So tighten up your ponytail and let's dig in. Do you wish you could look like you train as much as you do? Are you sick of scouring the internet for sports nutrition tips only to find information tailored to men? Do you wish there was a simple solution to fueling your body for your activity level? Are you ready to find freedom with food? It is possible to have balance between fueling your body for your sport and for enjoyment, and it's not as complicated as you may think. Can we say hello, food freedom? There's a way to have it all and eat your cake too, and I'm going to show you how. Hey, I'm Kristen, a former multi-sport athlete, a sports dietitian, personal trainer, and Jesus lover. In this podcast, you will find practical, sustainable fueling tips for female athletes that will set you free from diet culture, an ever-changing set of nutrition rules, under-fueling, and underperforming. You'll learn how to put together a fueling plan that works for you, that doesn't require all the rules, tracking every morsel of food you consume, letting food consume your every thought, with Jesus at the center of it all. If you're ready to find a sustainable nutrition plan that works for you with your active lifestyle and is tailored to your unique physiology, break free from diet culture, and finally feel comfortable in your own skin, this podcast is for you. Whip up that smoothie, lace up your shoes, and let's jump in. I get this question all the time. Is my metabolism broken? I feel like no matter what I do, I can't seem to lose weight or lose body fat. My body just stays the same and nothing ever changes. And I swear my metabolism just doesn't work anymore. Let me tell you something. Your metabolism is not broken. Your metabolism is actually made up of a number of things. The bulk of your metabolism, or number of calories that your body burns during the day, is actually your resting metabolic rate. So that's the amount of calories that your body's going to burn at rest just to basically keep you alive. So if you were to wake up in the morning, you didn't really do a whole lot just for your lungs to breathe, your brain to think, your heart to beat. That's the amount of calories that you're going to burn that's going to make up your resting metabolic rate. And that is heavily influenced by things that unfortunately we can't really control. So that would be things like your gender, your age, your genetics, things of that nature. So we can't really control your resting metabolic rate too much. Now, there's going to be other areas that contribute to our overall daily calorie burn, or our total daily energy expenditure. So those are going to be things like exercise, your diet. So if you eat more protein, that's going to increase your thermic effect of food, which means your body actually requires more calories to break down protein. It's harder for your body to break down protein. So it's going to spend more calories to break down protein. Of course, if you exercise, you're going to increase your total daily energy expenditure. If you are standing more, or if you have an active job, things of that nature, but also your nutrient timing throughout the day. If you are eating throughout the day on a regular basis, that's going to help. If you are constantly skipping meals or under fueling, that's going to affect your energy expenditure for the day as well. So let's talk about, there's going to be 3 things that I don't want you to do and 3 things that I do want you to do. So 3 things that I don't want you to do is, first, don't do things like skipping meals or intermittent fasting. This is just not going to help your body whatsoever. And I know there is so much information out there right now about intermittent fasting and how it's helpful for you. And I will say there are health benefits to intermittent fasting. For example, there's a lot of brain benefits. And there's also going to be health benefits to your gut if you're giving it a rest. But the problem becomes when people do too long of a fast. So what I would recommend is capping it at a 12-hour fast. And you can easily do this overnight. So let's say you eat dinner at 7 p.m. and then you wake up the next morning at 6:30. You don't eat breakfast till 7 a.m. That's a 12-hour fast. You're going to get all the benefits of intermittent fasting from doing that 12-hour fast at night. But when you do something like a 16-hour or an 18-hour fast, for a female, especially a female athlete, it's just not appropriate for several reasons. One, your body's going to release too much cortisol, which can actually backfire on you. So let me break that down a little bit. When you wake up in the morning, your body's going to release cortisol, and that helps to wake you up. And then that's also going to release some glucose from your muscles and your liver, which is stored in there as glycogen. And that's basically just going to give you enough food to get to your next meal, your breakfast. But when you are not eating, your body kind of gets a signal like, hey, I haven't eaten anything, and it just starts dumping cortisol. And then that's going to cause a whole slew of issues, and that can actually cause fat gain. So we don't want to do that. Plus, if you're not eating breakfast, now you're not performing well, you're not thinking well, you're really not doing anything well. So we don't want to skip breakfast whatsoever, and we definitely don't want to skip meals. That causes issues with your blood sugar over the course of the day. You're getting these crashes, your energy levels are going to decrease, you can't push yourself as hard in your workouts, and that's going to affect how many calories that you're burning as well. So we just don't want to skip meals. We don't want to do intermittent fasting. I don't care how much information is out there about people looking amazing doing intermittent fasting. I've had many people contact me who have done intermittent fasting saying it worked for me initially and now it's not. What do I do? And now we have to basically increase their food over time incrementally to get them out of that pit. So just don't do it. What I don't want you to do next, number 2, is dieting or restricting your intake. And you may be thinking, what are you talking about? I can't, cut back on my food. What I'm saying is I don't want you to go on some crazy diet, so something that's going to severely restrict your intake, and I don't want you to restrict your food intake when you are clearly hungry. So if you're going to be doing something like the ketogenic diet and combining that with intermittent fasting, that is a no-no. You are now going to be basically making it so that your body is not getting enough of what it needs, and then your body kind of resets on that number, and then it makes it harder for you to eat any more beyond that number. So for example, if you're used to eating 2,000 calories a day, and now you start incorporating intermittent fasting, and you're doing some diet on top of that, and now you're only eating 1,000 calories a day on average, well, guess what? Your body's going to figure out how to survive off of 1,000 calories a day, and it's not going to burn 2,000 calories a day because it's only getting 1,000 calories a day. So once you get past that initial weight loss and you're set on these 1,000 calories a day and you probably feel like garbage on top of that, it's going to be really hard to increase your food beyond that. And it's going to certainly be hard to lose any more weight because the only option you have is to decrease below 1,000 calories a day. And now you're really not eating anything and you really feel like garbage, not to mention that's setting you up for injuries and poor performance and all that kind of stuff. So we don't want to do that. The third thing I don't want you to do is over-exercise. So if you are following a training plan that a coach has given you, that's fine. But stick with the training plan and don't go above and beyond and start adding in all these other things because you feel like, well, if I train more, I'm going to get better at my sport. That is not always the case. And it is certainly not the case to decrease your food and eat clean, and that's going to make your performance increase as well. That's not always the case either. So over-exercising and not giving your body enough of what it needs is not going to boost your metabolism. It can backfire against you. You want to treat your body very kindly and give it what it needs, and then your body will actually perform well and optimally. So here are the 3 things I do want you to do. Number 1 is we want to balance your plate and balance your diet. So we want to make sure that you're prioritizing protein in your diet and you are getting enough of that. And so the protein content is really going to vary for your diet depending on what type of an athlete you are and how much exercise that you're doing. But just for, easy visualization right now, if we were to take a plate and we divided that plate into quarters, a quarter of your plate is going to be protein. So that's roughly going to be about the size of the palm of your hand in protein at each meal. And then you, of course, want to incorporate some protein at each of your snacks as well. Next, you want to make sure that you are getting in enough carbohydrates throughout the day. So if you, again, go back to that plate model, depending on your activity level, your training, The plate can be anywhere from a quarter to a half of a plate of grains. So if you are highly active, you are doing a lot of activity, you have a lot of intense activity, then you want to be more close to that half of a plate model. If you are really, let's say you have an injury right now and you're not doing a whole heck of a lot, you're couch ridden, then you want to stick with a quarter of the plate of carbohydrates. And of course, if you're somewhere in the middle, then you want to stick with more like a third of a plate. So you want to make sure that you're also getting in nutrient-dense foods throughout the day to support energy levels. So what I mean by that is mixing up your vegetables and your produce, your vegetables and your fruit, because that's going to give you different micronutrients over the course of the day, which is going to help with your body just performing optimally and working optimally. So if you're constantly just eating broccoli, let's say, you need to mix it up because broccoli is only going to contain a certain set of nutrients. You need to be eating carrots and peppers and mushrooms and spinach and, the whole 9 yards. You want to just make sure that you are incorporating some variety in your diet as far as your fruits and vegetables go. Next, we want to make sure that we are incorporating strength training, because strength training is going to actually help with something called EPOC, which is post-exercise oxygen consumption. So you're going to get a larger amount of calorie burn after your weight training session. So when you are just doing cardio, you burn a lot of calories during the cardio, but you're not going to be burning the calories after cardio. Now, if you are doing strength training, then you will burn calories even after strength training. And that also is going to burn, fat. And that's going to actually increase your metabolism because you're building muscle. So the more muscle that you have, the more calories that your body's going to require to keep that muscle mass on your body. So muscle is metabolically active, meaning you need calories to keep it there. So if you build muscle, you can actually eat more food. You get that nice look that you're probably looking for, but then you're also going to be burning more over the course of the day, and you can eat more as a result. The third thing that I want you to do is prioritize sleep and recovery. This, in my opinion, does not get nearly enough attention as it should. So a lot of people think, well, I'll just say in our society today, it's go, 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 go. And you need to do more or else you're just viewed as lazy. And that is really not the case. We need to treat our bodies well. And sleep is a necessity. You have to have sleep. So if you are not getting at the very least 7 hours of sleep a night, I'm one of those people that really requires more like 9 hours of sleep a night in order to feel good. But you need to know where that number falls for you. If you're not getting enough, nothing's going to be working well in your body and everything's just going to fall apart. So you want to make sure that you're getting enough sleep, because that's going to help your muscles grow, and that's going to help you to recover from your training sessions. That's going to help your whole body just heal and repair from your training sessions. And of course, what you did during the day, you need sleep. So if you don't have a good sleep routine right now, I would suggest trying to incorporate some sleep hygiene tips. So that would be things like making sure that you're not looking at a TV or a phone within the hour before you go to sleep, because that blue light can really affect your sleep and your REM cycles. Also, making sure that you are giving yourself an hour before you actually fall asleep to unwind and get into the mode of sleeping. So maybe for you that looks like you're going to take a shower at night to relax, or a bath. You're going to read a book. You're going to do some stretching or some yoga or some meditation. Whatever that is, you're going to incorporate that. And then, of course, the things that you need to do, like wash your face and brush your teeth, brush your hair, whatever else. Make sure that you are giving yourself time to do all that, and you have ample time to do that so that you're not rushing to get into bed and then fall asleep. Because if you're rushing, now you're just in that mode and it's not relaxing. You're not going to fall asleep. So you want to make sure that you're incorporating those things, and then making sure that your environment is also set up for sleep. So that means that you have maybe some blackout curtains, you have a quiet room. And if you don't have a quiet room, maybe you can set up a sound machine. Or, I used to put in earbuds and actually just listen to some guided meditation for sleep on YouTube to help me fall asleep if I was stressed out. Things along those lines so that you are able to relax and unwind and actually fall asleep. And you want to make sure that you are incorporating these things day after day, because it's not just a race, it's a long game. This is something that you want to make sure that you are doing over and over again. So let's just recap here. The 3 things you should not do are, number 1, intermittent fasting or skipping meals. Number 2 is dieting or restricting your intake. Number 3 is over-exercising. What I do want you to do is, number 1, make sure that you are balancing your plate and optimizing your diet. Number 2 is incorporate strength training. And number 3 is prioritize sleep and recovery. So if this is helpful for you and you feel like, you know what, I really need to start doing these things, but I need some help getting there, I'm here to help you with that. And what I want you to do, if you feel like you need help with this, is reach out to me. Let's set up a free consultation. Let's talk about how I can help you with what your goals are. We'll figure out exactly where you are, kind of map out a plan, and I'll tell you exactly what we can do to get you to those goals. So go on over to my website, elitenutritionandperformance.com/consult. Sign up for a no obligation consultation. It's completely free to you. And let's get things rolling. Let's get you on this train of fixing your broken metabolism that's not actually broken, and getting off of these things that you shouldn't be doing and getting you onto those things that you should be doing. Hey friend, if this podcast inspired you, encouraged you, or changed you, I would love for you to leave me a review and share it with a girlfriend who will find it helpful or inspiring. That is the best way you can thank me and help me share my knowledge so I can help more people just like you. I'm so thankful that you spent this time with me today, and I'd love to connect with you. Join my Facebook group, Female Sports Nutrition, or send me a DM on Instagram, or hop on over to my website, elitenutritionperformance.com. I'll see you back here next week.